Yay! I was just like watching the YouTube live stream, and at first it wasn't showing. And I'm like, did it do the same thing to you?
Yeah, it just popped up now for me. It's like,
It's like 20 seconds delayed. Oh, sad man. Sorry, my kid's sad in the background. Wow. So I'm gonna apologize now if there's a huge delay between when you guys ask questions and when we respond. It's it's 35 seconds back.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you click the gear and do playback speed and bump it up to 2x, it'll catch up.
Oh, well, whatever.
Like
Yeah.
for other people.
For other people, yeah.
It's for other people, yeah. I don't know. It's all messed up. Well, anyway, hello. It's Thursday. We yeah. Tonight's gonna be a bit somber at first. We were bitching. We were having a serious bitch fest, and I'm sure you probably can feel the same. I have an intruder.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah.
He slams the door. Hi. Come here.
He's like, no time for somberness.
No. Do you want a hug?
Josh, you get a haircut? Is that what's different?
Do you want a hug? Okay.
I
Here's
just
a
didn't
hug.
know my hat.
Oh, hug.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
hug.
it.
Oh, he's like, oh,
I have
what's
a
going on?
headache. I have a really bad headache, and that doesn't
Wow,
help.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Is that you? Who is that? Is that you?
What's up, little man?
Hey, dude.
It's like,
When's he
he'll
start
sit there when I'm
school?
editing videos, and like, he likes when the cars are like revving or stuff. It's funny. Anyway,
When does he start
Shower.
I know he's
school
like,
or daycare?
I
Dan.
ran away from mom. Come on.
You have to
Yeah,
take
whatever.
a
Answer some questions.
Shower.
Woodside, yes, they're great. If you need help with Woodside, send us an email, and I'll hook you up with our contact over there.
Oh, I would say probably
He's awesome.
20% of the cars we've sold
Yes.
have been financed through Woodside.
That's where I
Dang.
got my financing. They were able to help me out for first time supercar.
Yeah.
I didn't have a whole lot of, well, really didn't have much of, I just had like $20,000 car notes before, like nothing exotic. So, I mean, I had to put down a lot of money, but still, they helped me out.
They usually want like 20% minimum down, and then the rates aren't the greatest, but they'll do really, really long-term rates.
Yeah, it gets you in. Let's put it that way.
Well, the thing is, if you're doing it on a car that's theoretically not depreciating, it's not such a bad thing. But if you're doing it on a depreciating asset, okay, it's not such a good thing. So-
Everybody's commenting about me not wearing my hat.
Oh, yeah, you aren't wearing a
I
hat.
got my hat
Sorry.
right here. I
Yeah.
put it on.
I mean, you at least have hair. I got nothing.
Yeah, right? You.
I'm hurting. It's only getting worse. Like every time I see myself in a mirror or a picture or something like that, I'm like, oh man, I don't remember it being that bad.
That's what running your own business will do to you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it accelerated.
Oh, Rusty's the dude that had that Range Rover that came by. Didn't he look at a car?
Oh,
I can't
kinda
remember
remember
which car he looked at. Maybe it was the California or something. I can't
jeez,
remember.
I don't know. There's so many people. My
I
apologies.
do
but-
remember. I do remember you though.
yeah, I remember the Range Rover. That's the car guy, right?
Yep.
I remember the car.
Yeah.
Well, that's good
Anyway.
stuff.
Josh and I were having a bitch fest today because it's been rough. Like you know how we don't sugarcoat shit, right? Like we just say how it is. The market sucks right now. It's hard. It's hard for us. I'm actually going to ask a favor. Any of you that know someone who is looking to buy a car or need car parts, please send them our way. We could use some business.
I'm
Or
sure
if they're
they
looking-
already are.
Or if they're selling a car, like, and they actually want to sell it for a reasonable number that's not like full retail.
This is hilarious.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's not how this works.
Crazy town.
Having
Them
your own
was
business is I don't even know. It's not all it's cracked up to be in a lot of ways.
there's a lot of great things and there's a lot of bad.
Yeah.
The thing is, the highs are really high and the lows are really low. Like, and when it's hard, it's hard. You know. Appreciate it. Thank you for recommending us. We do appreciate that. I don't know. We've just had a string of like crap luck lately, and it's like man, like you know how it is. Like everything always comes in a wave, and like we're in the middle of this wave right now, and like I know it's gonna be better soon, but when you're in the middle of that shit and you're drowning, it's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel when you're like just trying to get your head above water. And it's been like that for about 2 months now, where we're just like scrambling and kicking and screaming, trying to just get a breath of air. And every time you like get a breath of air, someone's there to just like punch you in the face and make sure that you're back underwater. And you're like, God damn it.
Yep.
You know, it's just like, like every time we have a win, it's like instantaneously something will be like, no, like,
How dare you?
I know you can't get ahead right now. So anyway,
This is a good question. We actually were talking about doing a video about something like similar to this, like what cars could you buy in as investments?
I mean, the rarer the better.
very few,
Specialty
right?
Ferraris, specialty McLarens, specialty
But like-
Lamborghinis.
At that point, we're talking at least 200 to 300 grand, right?
Yeah, 300
I mean,
grand.
that's the problem,
you know.
right? Like it
Yeah.
takes a lot of money to get into the ones that
Yeah.
are really worthwhile.
Yeah.
And like,
you can't drive them.
Yeah.
that's
Takes
their
away all
problem.
the fun of it. Yeah.
Right. It's no longer a car; it's an investment.
So
right?
it's not just your run of the mill Ferrari, or if you can say that, it's not your regular exotic that's gonna be a surefire way to make money.
Yeah, I don't think Manny Koshman's buying the caliber of cars we are. His have an extra digit
Yeah.
or two.
He's in the 7-figure car world, not the
Yeah,
6-figure
we're
car
in the
world.
six-figure
I don't
car
know who
world.
that is. I've heard the name, but I don't know who that
He's
is.
one of those guys just with like an insane collection.
Insane
Yep.
collection. Yeah.
Dozens of hypercar type collection.
458 for 105
It must
Dang.
have been Salvage.
Yeah, it had to be salvaged.
had to be salvaged, and it had to have some serious history there.
Something going
By the
on.
way, my phone's gonna explode this entire time because I relisted a bunch of cars today, and we lowered the price of a bunch of cars today. So the lowballers are in like hardcore full effect right now.
Nice. Maybe we can do some live readings.
So I just want to point this out. If any of you are looking for a sub $50,000 exciting car,
Yeah.
we lowered the price of our GT350 to $49,900.
Wow.
We just got to get rid of it.
Shit.
It's a massive loss for us. It's so cheap that the local Ford dealerships called us today. I'm serious.
That's crazy.
They were like, "Hey, so we see you're selling this GT350."
Well, and that was funny because somebody made us an offer, an associate or something, and we were like, okay. And then the sales manager called and said, oh, they weren't supposed to make that offer.
Yeah. they like basically rescinded their offer, and we were like, okay. And then he's like, but we'll do it for $500 less than the offer. And I'm like, no. And he's like, well, call me when you change your mind. I'm like, that's cool. Call me when you're ready to pay more.
God.
I was kind of an asshole to him, but I was like, dude, it's like we're like $2,000 below MMR. This is less than you can buy it on Manheim as a dealer.
Yeah. Crazy.
I don't get it. This is the market. I don't get what's going on right now. It makes no sense.
How's your Viper only 10,000 miles? That's crazy.
Yeah.
It never
Right?
got used properly, right?
What
Yeah.
new cars
Yeah.
there are? I mean, unless you can get a specialty Ferrari,
Yeah. An SP3, maybe?
Yeah,
not even
there's-
like a comp, 812 comp or something.
I was gonna say the problem is none of the hybrids. I would not buy any of the hybrids as an
No.
investment vehicle.
Yeah.
No.
So it
Those are
has to
gonna-
be
those
something
are
like
gonna
the Daytona
tumble.
SP3. Honestly, I think that's. I'm trying to think of any Ferrari that's been released in the last year that would be a like surefire winner. 812 Competizione.
Yeah, maybe.
I think you'll do pretty good on those. The
Make money on
TDFs are a good indicator that you'll do solid on a 812 Competizione.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably it. Like I don't even trust the what is it, the SF90XX or whatever. I don't
No,
even
with
think
how hard the regular SF90s tanked, there's no way.
I mean, they'll hold their value. I have
that's a hold, but I don't
There's
think
gonna
they're
be-
a good investment.
Yeah.
Plus, all it's going to take is one time the battery. So you sit on it for 10 years and the battery goes bad, and then you got to buy a new battery. Now all of your profit is gone.
Tony, I was just telling Dan this earlier because the last 2 days, I spent several hours on the computer watching cars go through the auction, and I'm amazed. I'm amazed how much some of these cars are bringing, and I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know what dealers are doing or what's going on. How they're making money. I don't get it. I don't know if they're short on inventory, but you go and look at the inventory of these new car stores, and they have a ton of vehicles on the lot, not selling anything. So I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
Look at them in a year, right?
I
And then
do
you'll have
not
your
think
answer.
12 Slim will hold its value. You got to look
at every other V12 or front engine V12 Ferrari. I mean, they're all under sticker now.
Exactly. The V12 Ferraris have traditionally not held value very good at all. None of them. So
Like the GTO is the only one, right?
Yeah, the special one.
Cars, yeah.
But that's the GTO, the TDF, and then the Competizione.
Okay, yeah. Dang.
But short of those three, I'm trying to think of like pretty much. I don't think there's any V12 Ferraris that are 5 years or more old that are at MSRP or better. Yeah, there's pretty much none. Okay, correction. Manual 599s. And just now, the 550 Maranellos. But like 3 years ago, those things were dog shit. Like you could buy them for like 60, 70 grand.
Dang.
Like,
so they're back up to like list now, or
they're like 200 grand now.
Holy shit! Dang.
They jumped up so fast. It's crazy. Yeah, all because it's a manual. Which, I mean, it should have been. Like, it was like, oh yeah, this is a V12 Ferrari manual for like way under 100 grand. And it was like, this is a bargain. So, oh God, the launch year Pure Sangues will be worth MSRP in 10 years. Yeah, right. Those are going to just tank.
I know a lot of people were thinking they were going to make all this money on those.
No. No. The only way you're going to make money is if you're an early, like if you received your allocation early and you sell it early.
Mm-hmm.
Then you'll make some money. Everyone else is hosed. Yeah.
The thing is, though, is like if you buy an early one, you're going to be locked in. You're not going to be able to sell it for whatever Ferrari tells you, 6, 12, or 18 months.
Yeah.
And then even if you do, they'll still get on your case, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, apparently.
Man.
The manual 550, I mean, all the 550s were manual, but they were less than 80 grand for a long time.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted them.
Cheap. No one wanted them.
I mean, it's crazy because the 575 is half the price and it's a better car. And it looks almost the same. There's very little difference.
Yeah. Visually, they look very similar, and it's got slightly better engine and whatever stuff. I mean, it's a like a very minor incremental change from the 550 to 575. But of course, the 575, almost all of them came in F1. There was only like 100 and something or 200 and something that were manual. It was very few. Yeah, I should start my own crypto company too.
There you go. NG Coin.
NG Coin, yeah. We'll sell NFTs.
Yeah.
Are they
Those
still?
are they still hot?
Yeah, we were just talking about those. I haven't heard about them much, but I don't touch those fads.
No. Our GT350 is a 2017. It's like somewhere between 14 and 15,000 miles, I believe. Brand new tires. We had to put on new tires because the old tires had cords showing. That was one of those where like we got so screwed by the auction because we bought this at auction, and like they're like, oh, the tires are at like 330 seconds or whatever, right? And it comes in.
Yeah.
The outer edge of the tire was at 330 seconds. The inner edge was showing cords. And we're like, give me a freaking break, you lying sacks of shit. Like, you bastards. Like, come on. It's like, yeah, that was terrible. Anyway,
Is that like a giant screwdriver, or what are you drinking, Gabe?
Giant screwdriver. I was wondering the same thing about the
They're,
cup of orange juice.
So when my in-laws were visiting a few weeks ago, they bought these Palomas in a can, but they were bad. No one liked them, so we've been trying to get rid of them. And so this is the last one. It's mixed with orange juice.
Nice. All right.
Finally getting rid of it.
oh no, it's awful.
Yeah, you guys drove one cross country,
It
Yeah.
was terrible.
not redeeming at all.
It wasn't even comfortable to sit in.
No,
It wasn't even a good tour.
No.
No, the
Shit.
seats were awful. It had no power. It had all the old Ferrari problems. It had all the high maintenance of an old Ferrari, and it looked like dog shit. So no, I mean it's an awful Ferrari. I'm sorry. Like Ferrari has done a lot of good stuff. That is not one of them.
Yeah.
No.
Big turd.
The only thing good about it is the gated shifter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the only redeeming quality. It was a V12 with a gated shifter. That's it.
But it was still slow.
It was dog shit slow. Yeah, sorry, brutal, but I'm honest.
Well,
man.
there's a reason they're cheap.
Yeah. Yeah. Hoovie's rolling over in his grave right now.
Right.
Well, not in his grave.
I wonder. I haven't watched
His
Hoovie's
ears are
video.
burning.
Has he mentioned the 456 at all? In
I
his
think
video?
it finally got rebuilt. Like they had to tear the engine apart completely and
Yeah, it was down to nothing, like all nut, bolt, complete tear
it was
down.
totally screwed. I think that whatever company in Saudi Arabia or whatever that rebuilt that thing just didn't know what the F they were doing. They didn't torque things correctly. They had everything screwed up on it, and it just fell apart and grenaded itself. When will the 458s drop in value? You missed it.
Probably never.
They
Yeah.
already did. They're back up. They were down to like the 160s and shit like a month or two ago, and now they're back up near 200. You missed it, dude.
It was a quick drop. It didn't last long.
No, this was like it bounced off bottom. It came down fast after COVID. It flatlined for like 6 months, and then it dipped and went boing, because everyone was like, "Oh shit, 458s are affordable again. Buy them."
So what could you get a good one for at the peak? At the
I
best
mean, at
time.
the bottom.
Yeah, at the bottom. Yeah.
Well, this bottom, because it wasn't the absolute bottom. I ironically bought mine at the absolute bottom. I'm gonna say plus or minus 1 month, like, and that was unintentional, right?
That's what 2019.
Around there, maybe a little bit
It
later.
was before COVID.
I'm just trying
Yeah,
to
it was
see
before
if
COVID.
I had
Yeah, it was before COVID.
waited
I
a year
remember
or two.
going. I think it was 2018.
It must have
Yeah.
been, yeah. Because I bought that car with 16,000 miles on it for 150 something, and it was
wow.
like a
That's insane.
high spec. I mean, super high spec, right? So, I mean, nowadays a 16,000 mile 458, options to nines like that's
250. Yeah.
230, 240 car.
I don't know about that much.
Nah,
Maybe
220.
if there was a
Yeah.
spider, it would be.
Yeah, maybe a spider. Yeah.
Yeah, spider. The thing that's funny about the 458s is the spiders carry like a $15,000 to $20,000 premium, which is not true of like the 430s, 360s, and stuff.
Well, soft top.
And I think it's totally because of the soft top.
Yeah.
Speaking of, does Richard still have his 458?
He still
Yep.
has a 458. Yep. Yeah. I actually asked him about that. I was like, so which of your cars is your favorite? He's like, oh, I'll never sell the 458. I was like, good man. Yeah. I wouldn't either. That's a super cool spec.
Hoovie's Testarossa is pretty rough. I heard.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's his market, right?
Yeah.
Is there an aftermarket suspension for the 355 that can be programmed with the sport button? I have no idea.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You could make it happen if you
I
wanted.
mean, yeah, I'm sure you can figure out how.
It's awfully specific, Hugh.
Do you
Yeah,
have a 355?
and you have an aftermarket suspension that you're looking to put in it. I know it has like those sensors fail all the time in the 355 shocks, and you get these weird warning lights and stuff, and blah blah blah. But I don't know. Yeah. Well, right now in inventory, because I'm gonna beat Hugh to the punch.
Hey.
We have the Scud. We have the GT350, of which is now below $50,000. So someone snarf it up, please, for the love of God. By the way, if you offer us anything less than $49,900, we're not gonna take it. That's it. That is absolute bottom. We have the Viper, which we also lowered the price on it. It's below 75 grand. A 10,000 mile Viper. That's almost perfect. Like very little flaws on it. Then we have the Red Tan 05 converted 430 Spider, the Red Tan 07 converted 430 Spider. We have Richard's former Nart Blue 430 Spider, which is being converted. So we're kind of 430 Spider flush right now. In fact, Josh was joking because once Richard's car is converted, all the Ferraris in the shop are converted Ferraris except for the Scud.
Man, that's funny.
Heck yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
Will Richards go for much more than the red ones?
Yeah, because it's way lower miles and it's in much better condition. Well, I wouldn't say it's in much better condition, but it's in better condition, and it's super low mile.
If I could, I would consider bumping up to that.
Oh,
that
man.
car? Oh,
Yeah,
the
I'm
blue?
not going to, but I like it.
Which one? Richards?
Richards, yeah. I mean,
Blue is so cool.
yeah.
So that car is mid conversion. The Trans came out today. Interesting enough, funny thing. You know, we always talk about how you need to drive your cars, otherwise they fall apart. So that's an 8,000 mile 2007 Ferrari. So it's been sitting the vast majority of its life. Guess what? Rear main seal was toast.
Really?
Yeah, like weeping like crazy.
Huh.
So we were scared the clutch might be screwed. So we pulled the trans and separated the clutch and made sure that there was no oil on the clutch, because we were like, oh crap, like if oil got in that clutch, it's gonzo. But thank God it was okay.
Good.
But the bell housing from the oil collecting dirt and being slung around was just gnarly. You wouldn't believe it because the car was so clean, but it was leaking out oil out of the rear main seal because it didn't get driven.
Dang.
Yep. So.
Case in point.
Yep. So anyway, drive your cars, people. What is the cheapest reliable supercar we can get nowadays?
Probably a 430.
I mean, honestly, yeah, I kind of think it's the 430.
I can't disagree with that. Like,
I was hoping you'd say 360.
Oh, the 360 is close, but it has a few more. First of all, it's older, so as it ages, more stuff goes wrong. But there's a few more extra things that go wrong on the 360 that don't on the 430. Like the heat exchanger thing.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist on the 430.
Yep.
So, and actually, funny enough, we were working on that 360, doing the conversion on that car and pulling out the trans and stuff. And I kept teasing Josh because Josh still loves 360s a lot more than I do. And every time I'd be like, look at all this extra shit. Like, there's all these extra wires and all this extra crap that doesn't exist on the 430, but it's all over the place in the 360.
I will say doing the interior, like the pedals and all that stuff, is easier on a 360 because there's less stuff in there. Less wiring and stuff.
But the engine bay is far more complicated.
What can you do to... Oh, what?
I was just going to say, I like the way the 360 looks better than the 430, personally. I think it looks much better looking car.
What can you do to prevent the heat exchanger? Any preventative maintenance, the failure?
Change the coolant every time you do a major.
Okay, so every 3 to 5 years.
That helps. And then I would change the heat exchanger every 2 majors. Like, just don't even risk it. Just
it's only
change
like
it.
$900 for the part. And if you're doing a major, you're already in there. It's probably an extra 2 or 3 hours of labor.
So the coolant, changing the coolant.
Mhm.
You know what can what can go wrong if you don't?
So the coolant becomes caustic, and it rots out stuff, right? And so it rusts out the heat exchanger, and eventually the heat exchanger fails.
Okay.
So, I mean, yeah, and I would just, if I owned a belt service car, I would just expect that every other major is a big major. Like you've got kind of like, you do like the belt slap on one just to make sure your timing belts don't grenade, and then the next one like do a lot of stuff, like check all the sensors, make sure there's no leaking seals, like all the shit, right?
Yep.
And just so that way it's like a 10-year cycle. 5 years simple, 10 years big.
That makes sense.
Tyler can probably answer this question.
Yeah, I've driven both. 650 for sure.
Well,
It depends.
If you take out the unreliability of the 650, if you just the pure driving experience, the 650 is probably better.
It's definitely way faster.
But it's
Yeah,
it's also one generation newer on all of the tech and everything.
Right.
Yeah. So it depends what you're looking for. If you just want to tool around and have a supercar, like and that like manual style, like the transmission kicks you in the butt a little bit. 430 is probably more what you're looking for. But if you want speed and craziness, the 650 is hard to beat.
I mean, the 650 is a bargain for performance.
Yeah. If anyone wants one.
Oh yeah.
Oh, are you actually selling it for sure now? You're torn.
He's
I'm
open.
super
to
torn.
It.
I mean, I know what you want to get. He's been showing Josh and I what he wants to get, and both of us were talking about today. We're like, oh yeah.
Well, we just basically concluded that you're going to be much happier with that car than you will with the McLaren.
Oh yeah. I'm
and
sure.
Maybe the McLaren you have has just been bad luck. I don't think they're all that bad.
No.
I don't think all of them are that bad.
Everything, like pretty much everything that's gone wrong on it is stuff that's known to go wrong on those things.
Exactly.
None of it's been like.
But do they all have that many issues
Yeah.
and all have those problems that you had? Like the weird suspension thing. I mean, that seems like a one-off.
That seems like a one-off. There, some of those weird things like people had when they were brand new, and then there's nothing on forums. So either no one's posting about it, or it. Who knows? But I don't know.
But like the what is it? The harmonic thing on the.
Oh yeah. So like that's
super common.
Yep.
All of the clamps on the coolant stuff is common. The oil leaks are common. All those things are all typical. It's like, but the funny thing is, they're all generally like one and done.
Yeah. Like you do the clamps, and pretty much every single one of those cars has had the clamps done by now.
Yeah.
That it has more than 5,000 miles on it, and they're done forever.
Right.
Like.
Yeah, and same thing with that harmonic vibration thing. Whatever you like, you get the
DLD.
new generation of it, and it's done.
Yeah, you put in the 571, and it's fine. It's sealed, so the springs don't rust.
Yeah. What a stupid ass thing to go wrong, right?
That is such a stupid ass thing, and it doesn't affect the engine except the spring falls down and like impedes the starter from working.
Oh my god!
It's like what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to get you into something else, Tyler.
Yeah.
And you've had that for what, 3 years?
Almost 3. Yeah.
I'm actually going to disagree with this statement.
Yeah, I'm not saying what it is because I don't have a deposit yet.
There's a lot of Huracans we know of that have grenaded engines or needed rebuilds and other stuff. Now that could be an indicator of the owners more than the actual technology.
Yes.
They like to just turn their cars on and then peg it at redline and rev it.
Yeah, so
that probably has something to do with blown engines.
How much of the Lamborghini reliability problems are a result of just straight abuse?
Yeah.
I don't know. But all right, so maybe they are fairly reliable if you don't beat the snot out of them. Let's see here. Oh yeah, you've had weird aero issues with your wing too and stuff, right?
That was just the position sensor in the wing itself. They're just a teeny tiny little thing died. Like,
yeah, just weird shit.
But none of it's major. It's like a $200 part. It's just then you have to have the McLaren computer to reprogram the damn thing, and
That's still what bothers me the most about those things. If we could get the computer to do the computer stuff, I would feel far more comfortable owning a McLaren.
oh well, so you can now buy a third-party VIN-locked computer for like $1,500.
Oh, but it's VIN locked.
Yeah. So the unlocked is $6,000.
Yeah.
So
but if you're working on McLaren, $6,000's worth every penny.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but that's the thing is,
like if you were selling them more often, you should get one for sure. But
yeah, but I don't. Do you really want to be dealing with unhappy McLaren people whose computers are screwed up?
no. Although you could charge them a lot of money and they have no.
Don's right.
Yeah, what people cold rev.
Oh God. Yeah.
That's just. Yeah.
Right? Oh, dude, especially that Lamborghini, right? The
SVJ, he just couldn't help himself.
That is the siren song of an Aventador. It's just
Bouncing off the
The
like
rev
the
limiter.
whole time. Just like, oh my God, that poor engine. Like, think whoever works for Lamborghini and designs their rev limiter system, they're brilliant.
Yeah.
Because they prevent a whole lot of engines from grenading.
That'll be Audi.
Yeah, I mean, my God, those poor engines. Thank God, I would love to see if Lamborghini had like a DME, like a Porsche thing.
Oh God. It'd just be.
They're just like
insane.
stage
These
6
Lamborghinis
every
would be
day.
worthless.
They're just like, constantly like, oh, it went like 1,000 RPMs over red line because they just started it and immediately went on the right pedal. It's like, oh my God. Those poor things. I need to get more beer. Speaking of all these liquids.
Yes.
Not a Julius.
Orange Julius.
Man, I haven't seen those in forever.
Oh. It's something.
Yeah, we know the guy that brought that 812 comp. That thing is tailor made. That's a nice
Wow.
car.
Yep. So yeah, we'll see if I go through this or not. But
But you're looking at a specific example of a car or just a.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
a decently spec'd car that's a okay price.
Cool.
a high spec.
Is it in town?
Yeah, okay, it's a high spec car. Fine.
Is it local?
No.
No,
So you can't see it.
never are.
Or is
It was. It used to be. That's the
Oh,
funny
was it?
part. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You said it was at Ferrari. Or, oh shit! I just said where.
Selling, I'll
Yeah.
sell anything. Everything's for sale.
What would it take to have someone buy your 430, Josh?
Oh.
Ooh.
After how much time I've put into that thing,
Right?
a lot.
Now it's finally dialed in, and
I'd probably sell it for like 140.
yeah, so basically a price which no one would pay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I would, yeah.
Well, that's not that much. Is that out of question?
It's probably not too far.
50,000.
The red tan one, 136. So Richards, I assume.
Well, my car's got the carbon seats, carbon brakes. It's super clean. There's only 6 of them from what I've gathered in that color in the world.
Dang.
So
It's got the challenge wheels, and it's got brand new freaking everything. Pretty much, we replaced everything when we had the trans out.
Not to derail the conversation, what are the thoughts of the MC20 if they got down to 175? Keep going.
Yeah.
I'd rather have a 458.
I'd rather have a 650.
Yeah, a lot of other options that aren't going to lose their ass and are better cars, period.
Yeah.
Mm. My SLS goes immediately into limp mode if you try to rev it when cold. The German's like, 9!
Bad.
Bad.
Oh, love it.
Don't be dumb! No. That's true. If it didn't have the Maserati attached to the name, those probably would be worth a lot more.
Oh yeah, they're beautiful.
What name would have to be attached to it? Ferrari?
Probably. I guess that's basically a 296 then.
Yeah.
Similarly, oh, someone's trying to make shots fired. Oh, hiccup. Fired at me.
What was he talking about?
I don't know. He's just saying I priced my cars too high or something. Oh, dude. The oh yeah. The Scud listing comments.
Still.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I feel like
Let's
there's
just make the MC20 free. Everybody gets one.
120,000 for an MC20. That sounds about right. 100 grand. I'd rock one for.
I'd worry about
Yeah.
stuff breaking and servicing that car.
That's true.
It'd be pricey.
Yeah. 6-cylinder supercars.
It's got a quadrifolio engine in it. I didn't know that.
Oh.
What are you guys pricing Richard's car at? When it's done being converted, 165.
yeah. So I mean, 140 for yours, Josh. I don't know. Doesn't sound that crazy.
The only downside to mine is it's high miles. It's 52,000 miles. on it.
The seats are really what make that car.
Yeah. Let's get a new clutch and stuff
Wheels.
too.
I mean, yeah, that's
165.
true. It's
And
basically had
We did the
everything.
engine mounts, the trans mounts, clutch, flywheel, all that stuff. We did valve cover gaskets. It's got
Yep.
a tune. It's got the Valvetronic exhaust. I lowered it a little bit, put spacers on it. It's really low, actually.
He lowered it a lot of it.
Yeah.
I
That looks
my
really good
cars.
though.
I gotta stance my cars properly. I can't have that. And Tyler, I didn't know this, but Tyler said that it shoots flames. Out
Yeah.
the exhaust, so
oh, really?
Oh yeah, it popped good. Both sides, nice bright flame balls during the day.
Are
So
they orange or
Oh, wow.
blue?
they were orange.
Nice.
Yeah. It's
Very
good stuff.
cool.
I'm sure it does a lot more at night. Like that was
Oh,
what we saw
yeah.
during the day. So
That's what we need to do then. We need to take it out at night and get it real hot.
Yeah.
if retail price on all the stuff that I did on that car would be probably 50
Oh,
grand or more.
God.
oh yeah,
At
easy.
least.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if someone does eventually buy it, they're going to get a car that's well sorted and
Yeah.
yeah, it'll be.
I was the one that offered 125 in the Scud. You're a fucking asshole. Sorry. I'm about ready to ban you. Such a douchebag thing to do. 125 for that car. Get the fuck out of here, man. God.
Damn.
Sorry, but no. You're one of the people who drive me insane with your bullshit. Like, I'm not gonna be nice to you. God. And then radio silence.
Yep.
Like, oh shit. I got-
Well, we have a 30-second delay, so it's coming.
Yeah, yeah. It's,
Yeah,
it's
I'm waiting.
computing. Still
Watching
computing.
the
What did this guy tag along at Coda? Did you guys go to Coda?
Fuck off. What a piece of shit. Get out of here. Bye. I banned him.
He probably doesn't have the 125, even if you told him, okay.
Oh, I know, right?
Well, I got to go get money from my mom and see if I can borrow some money from my uncle. And
We've
Oh,
we've
no.
if I
done
can
that.
sell my
We've-
2 old BMWs.
Yep.
We've done this many times where someone throws out a stupid lowball number and we're like, okay. And they're like, oh, well, actually, I don't have the money. And it's just like, fuck off. Why'd you waste our time? Like, it's like they're playing a game. We were joking about this today. We were actually saying to ourselves, I swear to God, people see these cars and it's something they can't afford or obtain in their life, which is fine. That's not an insult. It's just a fact. But then they like negotiate as if they actually can afford this car because they want to play a game. And as soon as you agree to their price or whatever, then they just ghost you or find some bullshit excuse to go away. It's crazy. It's happened countless times to us. So they're just complete time wasters. And so like it's the most frustrating thing because it's like, yeah. Talk about watches that will calm Dan down. Screw you,
It'll
Alex.
just piss them off even more.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Which car got the paint? The ding on it?
The RX-7 that joined us.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Yeah.
That
Wait,
was a
what?
nice. That was a nice RX-7.
Mhm.
What happened?
He said he got a paint chip on his hood.
Was that? Wait, you guys went to Coda?
We did the Cars and Coffee.
Yeah.
Oh, drove to Coda. You didn't drive Coda.
There was an RX-7 with us?
Yeah. I invited him.
Where was it? It was at the Howard.
He showed up right as everyone was leaving, so he's in the back.
Oh, I just
Like,
never.
too clever.
Well, to be fair,
You can't see
when you're in
shit in that
I
car.
couldn't see anything behind me. so I had no clue. Like, it was funny because I knew we were gonna get some red lights and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not gonna play this game of trying to wait for people in this car. Nope, because I can't see shit and I can't hear anything, and I'm just gonna go.
Yep.
So I just
Yep.
went.
It worked out.
Yeah.
Hold on, I gotta refresh. My chat's broken.
The thought did cross my mind to
Got all close on us.
sell the my 430 and buy the Scud from Dan and then convert it
Ooh.
to the paint.
I would.
That would
I
be
would hook you
badass.
up. I'll do owner financing for you, Josh.
Oh man.
Just for you.
Come on down, 20%.
I'll give you a discount. 19.
APR 20%.
I don't even think, honestly, you don't need to put 20K into that car. It's if you want to make that car perfect, I think you could do it for about $10,000. It's that close now.
It's really like it doesn't need much, and it's really you fix the paintwork in the front and you replace a few cosmetic things, and there's no way you tell it was a salvage car.
Nope. That's what's so stupid about it.
Yeah.
And what I really hate is all these dumbasses like there was someone like, oh my god, it's been damaged, it's never gonna be perfect, blah blah. The frame is fine. The frame did not get damaged. Like, we had it up on the lift, we pulled off the bottom panels, and you could see this is how shitty Ferrari builds their cars. The part of the car that was replaced looked better than the part of the car that was original.
There's
And you're
a little bracket that's welded to the frame, and it attaches to the bumper. It holds the bumper in place. And that bracket had been replaced. It had been cut off and re-welded. Well, the weld on the one that had been replaced was like perfect, and the factory one on the other side looked like crap. It's funny.
we're like,
I love
holy crap! Like, it literally was put back together better than originally was made.
Yeah. Tony in the factory was hung over and
It's seriously no. There's this like big old gob of slag on the weld and shit, and you're just like, oh my god, this passed. Like, and the other side was like, perfect. What do they call it? Like dimes. It's just like really nice weld, and we're like, wow. Like, some banks will actually finance salvage cars, but it's very few, and it's hard to get. So, yeah. Oh, and yes, paint chips on a car means you use the car properly. Although you could prevent it with PPF, but I'm just saying. Excuse me. So anyway, I just look on the Scud thing, the lowballer stuff. Like, the part that drives me nuts is like people don't like a lot of these people don't realize it's a Scud. They think it's a Ferrari F430 or something, or they think it should be more than half off because of salvage. It's like, no salvage cars are half off once they've been put back together. I mean, there's bullshitty, crappy cars that are still within like 10% of what the non-salvage cars are going for. So for this to be like, arguably it's close to half off at this price. It's probably like 35 to 40% off. Yeah. Oh yeah. It does. It hauls ass. It's a good car. I would say the thing about a salvage car is that you can have more fun in it in some ways because you don't necessarily care as much about a clean title car. Like, that's one of the biggest hangups of owning these expensive cars is you're so scared to devalue them.
mm-hmm.
So that was like when I bought my first 430, it took me like a year to really enjoy that car because I was so worried about like, oh, it's gonna get a paint chip. Oh, I'm putting miles on the car. Oh my god, this is that, right? And then once you finally were like, screw it, I just want to drive it, enjoy it, and you get over that mental hurdle, 10 times better ownership.
Oh, 100%.
Then you really can enjoy the car as a car. Like I've harped on this 1,000 times. It's like, please stop thinking about just the finances of the car, like the investment opportunity and all that crap, because it's not a car then, it's an investment, and no one wants their investment to go down, so it's no longer fun. These are meant to be enjoyable objects that bring you pleasure and fun, not things that make you money. Like, that's not what they were ever designed for. Anyway.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I'm sure there's a next level of car that I would still have that same feeling on again, though.
Oh,
like,
God, yes. Like, that's the problem. Like, as you start getting more and more expensive, when we consigned that 458 Speciale,
yep.
the guy laid it out perfectly. He's like, when I bought this car, he bought it for like 3 something, right? Low 3s. He's like, yeah, it was a lot of money, but it was like, this is a manageable amount of money. It's not a big deal. He's like, it's now worth over $500,000. He's like, I can't drive this anywhere without shitting bricks that some dumbass is going to back into it or door ding it or whatever. And it's literally going to cost me $50,000 in hurt value.
Yep.
He's like, that scares the shit out of me. So I can't enjoy the car anymore.
Damn.
And I'm like, yeah, you're totally right, dude. Totally makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah. Ugh. That twin supercharged thing went for 286.
Oh, it was nuts. I watched the Mecum auction since there's free access through Ferrari Club. The prices were all over the place at that Mecum. It was stupid.
That's way more than I thought, because I was like, who wants to buy this poorly molested, like, scud? But that's, wow, okay. I mean, it did have super low miles.
Yeah.
That was the one thing going for it, but like twin Novatec superchargers. If I bought that car, I would rip off those superchargers, sell them, and then put the car back to stock, and it's worth more than that.
Yep.
The car is literally worth more than that if it hadn't been modified. That's true. A lot of the Europeans seem to just drive the piss out of their cars, and good for them. Yeah. This actually kind of makes me sad, but it's true.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's kind of depressing there,
Yeah.
man. Like, hey, you're gonna die, so drive your car. Yeah. Under $80 cars is the most fun. Under 80?
Probably 80K is what he's saying.
Yeah, probably 80K. 80K is pretty high. I mean,
Yeah. Well, Canadian though, that's not.
I don't know. That's-
It's like $40.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like I'll go get my wallet. I'm sure I got more than that in there. There's something to be said about buying cheaper versions of the more expensive cars. Like I've always had, so my 430 was an 05. It was the cheapest 430 on the market when I bought it. My 458 was one of the cheapest. It wasn't quite the cheapest. There was a few, like 3 or 4 that were cheaper, but they had horrible specs. But I bought that, and it was like the cheapest car that I could find at the market, right? My 599, God, I paid almost nothing for that thing compared to what they went for later. Like, I've always tried to buy the cheapest cars because I don't want to buy the super nice, pristine, perfect example, because you're so scared. What happens if it gets a paint chip? What happens if it gets a door ding? What happens when I put a bunch of miles on it? And that's why I drove the piss out of those things. I put like 35,000 miles on the 430 and almost like 40,000. I sold the 458. I bought it with 16. I sold it with 46. I put 30,000 miles on that car.
Nice.
And I loved it. I mean, those are some of the best memories I've had.
Oh hell yeah.
In car shit.
Yeah, because you can just drive it. There's something so nice about even my Miata. It's such a cheap race car. When I'm working on it, I just put tools on the car. I use it as like a shelf. I mean, it is like there's no
like bumper holder.
Yeah, no concern at all. I'm smashing it with mallets everywhere. Just no concerns for
Alex,
You know
your
how
cars you're
aesthetics.
talking about are way less than 30. You could get all three of those for 30 if you wanted
Yeah,
to.
right. I love. You can tell that it's awesome because as soon as you start talking about it, you start smiling, Gabe.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, that's you can't even hide it.
Yeah, because it's a race car, and if it's not, if it wasn't, it'd be a driver's car, and that's what you get them to drive, to race. You don't get them to worry about. So when it can
Alex,
just
speaking of DB9, there was a car I was telling Dan about. I wish we could buy it. It's a DBS manual. So
Ooh.
it's a V12 Aston manual, and the DBS has a carbon fiber body. It's badass.
There it is.
Damn.
Devalue your cars. Do it. Great advice. Oops.
I've had a bunch of Miatas. Miatas are fun.
Have a F1 430 yellow, 6,800 miles, CCM, all carbon fiber cabin, new tires, full service at LA Ferrari, just past smog.
Are
Nice.
you trying to sell it or something? Or
Just saying.
I think
'cause cool.
when he says just past smog, I think he's trying to sell it. That would
Oh,
be
probably.
my
Probably.
assumption.
Yeah. That is kind of a thing out in California, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. You guys in Australia, it's awful. Like, it's like 2+ times
Wow.
more expensive.
Oh my
Why
God.
is that? Why is that? Is it just because there's less cars there or harder to get down there? Or what
Harder to
is
get them to the taxes and I don't know.
What's up?
It's a good question. Maybe it's demand.
Wow.
Like there's so few of them, and people who want them really are willing to pay for them. I don't know. That's a good question. But they're crazy. I mean, like, if it was easy to import them there, I'd be like, all right, let's start exporting our cars. But I think it's pretty difficult. Who's Arnold? Arnold. God, passing smog. Oh, man, yeah.
Import tariff. It must be
Yeah.
really high then. Why do they charge so much? They don't want cars coming down there?
Probably not.
Got to keep
Isn't
those former British criminals, suppressed under control.
I believe Singapore has a 100% tariff on every car.
Holy cow.
So
So,
what's
like-
the reasoning behind that? Are they just trying to limit the amount of cars that come in?
Yeah, because there's just
They want to keep the
number
rich
of,
people only the ones be able to afford that
well,
stuff?
so what's crazy about that is then like you see occasionally like there's some YouTube videos that are like semi documentaries about these rich people in Singapore that have like these crazy car collections, and you're like doing the math and you're like, this person has like a LaFerrari. So they bought a $3 million car, which means they paid a $3 million tax, which means they bought a $6 million car.
It means they got a LaFerrari, meaning they have two LaFerraris.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my God.
Oh,
like,
it was to protect the domestic car industry, which is now closed. So they
Yeah.
still tax it. Sounds about right.
yeah, it sounds about right for
Good old
government.
politicians.
Yep.
Yeah.
And 100% in Australia too. That's crazy. Dang.
Wow. That's awful.
Well, they probably quit building down there, if I had to guess, because it
They
cost
probably had
like-
import tariffs on the materials needed to build them. Oh well. And NGS, would you or have you bought CA?
I think that's Canadian. I see a
Canadian car?
Canadian flag.
It's Canadian flag on YouTube. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. No, we have not. It's.
You
And
almost
yeah.
did, right?
I mean, if it's already in the U.S., I think it would be more likely. But to import it, it doesn't make sense because, from what I understand, you pay a 2.5% import tax plus the government holds it for 30 days, or you can't sell it for 30 days or whatever. So as a dealership,
That's rough. Yeah.
it's like not really worth it.
If we were right by the Canadian border, it would make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, because then we still have to transport it. So you got
Right.
all these extra fees. So even if the car, let's say the car is like 20% cheaper in Canada, you add in the 2.5% tax. Okay, now we're down to 17.5%. You add in the transport fees. Okay, now we're down to like, let's just say like 14%. Okay, and then we got to wait 30 days. So now we're paying interest and whatever. Okay,
And
so now,
the other factor is that people don't want to buy a car that's been
Right.
registered in Canada. It has a
and it's got
stigma
a
to
Canadian
it.
history, so some dumbass American
Sorry,
doesn't realize
Gabe.
it's the same car.
What was that? There was that orange 488 that was former Canadian car that was like 202 or something. It was
Yeah, nobody
stupidly
wanted it.
cheap.
We almost bought it.
Yeah, and it was like you couldn't have made money on that. Like,
No one wanted to buy it because it was Canadian. It was like, it's Canadian, not like,
Even with a Montana LLC, you still got to pay import tax. You still got to pay transport. There's
Yeah.
you won't have sales tax. We don't have sales tax anyway as a dealership.
no. I agree. Canadians and Americans should be
Yeah.
able to sell their cars back and forth. I mean, they're federalized basically the same.
Yep.
So it doesn't really matter.
Well, the governments don't want tax money
Yeah.
being going to the wrong country.
Ooh, Denmark has about
damn.
a 300% tax.
Wow.
Woof. No, thank you.
that's why they all have a big bike culture, right?
Right? That might do it. Well, that's
When
why
I was living in Sweden, I remember I was walking down the street with some friends one day, and this Corvette drives by. It was a C6 Corvette, and everybody was losing their shit over it. And I'm like, it's just a Corvette, and they're like, I've never seen one in person.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Come
It
to
was
America.
hilarious.
You're like, I can't throw a nickel without hitting 3 of them.
Yeah.
Oh man. What's the stigma on Canadian cars? They don't.
When you pull it up on the Carfax, it says Canadian, previous Canadian, and people see that and they're like, no thanks. It's a weird thing people just don't understand, and there's no
They're
use
dumb.
in explaining it to them.
The thing is, anything on Carfax other than good stuff, if it's not like normal, like, oh, it was registered, oh, it passed emissions, oh, it had maintenance done. If it's anything otherwise, people just they freak out. They don't know how to read Carfaxes, and Carfax is garbage. It's shit. It doesn't record everything anyway. I hate Carfax so much. It's a racket. It's like, it's mafia shit designed to make cars crap. It's so
There's
bad.
no better alternative, is there?
No,
Well,
no.
there's auto check, but
It's worse.
nobody really takes that seriously.
Well, the stuff on it isn't wrong, right? It's just that
Yes,
not
it is.
everything is going to be on it. Oh, it
They
can
screw
be.
up shit all the
Do
time.
they really?
Yeah. Dude,
And the
my
thing
Scud,
is even if
Scud
you
had
have
the
proof-
mileage discrepancy.
A proof of something that, like a clerical error or something, if you've got proof, you can send it to them. They hardly ever do anything about it. I've tried.
Oh.
It's such stupid. What's worse, Porsche people or
Definitely
Corvette?
Porsche. Corvette guys are pretty chill for the most part.
I'd say they're easy to buy and sell cars with. Like, they're, there's all these jokes about like the New Balance and whatever, but like, they got money and they got a car and they're just like, I want this car, I'm gonna buy it. So they're like, okay, here you go.
Does it look
Actually-
cool? Does it sound cool? Sold.
Yeah. They're like, okay, it's the right color, it's got the right options, done. Here's the money. Like, they're easy. They're easy buyers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, the car has to be priced perfectly for a Corvette. Like, because there's so little margin. Like, Corvettes, we always are astonished because we see them selling all the time on the wholesale market, and like the margin is like $1,000 on like $100,000 car. We're like, you're making like 1%, so it's all a volume game.
Dang.
And so that's why we haven't really ever gotten into Corvette world, because just like you have to turn over so many of them to actually make any money. I've joked about this. With your experience with the salvage title Scud, will you buy another from the dealership? View that differently than a forever car. I will absolutely never buy another salvage title car for the dealership unless it's something where it's like a trade-in or some crazy whatever car that we have such a margin on it that it doesn't matter. For example, the old 458 Hoovies car, like that car, it's got history, whatever, people know it, so like it's easy to sell, and it's like that car is kind of weird and unique because it's so damn cheap that it doesn't really matter, right? Like It's under $100,000, and it's a 458, and it runs and drives perfectly fine.
This guy's asked twice. It's an okay car, but I would never own one.
No,
We had one. We did a video on Aroma. If you want to go and find it and watch it,
they're cool, but it's just not my bag.
It's a lot of money for what you get.
Not a lot of stimulation.
Yeah.
No. It's a touring car. It's not exciting.
What's that?
Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
there's another person from Canada here, so we have a big Canadian audience apparently.
I mean,
Even though we rag on their
International tonight.
yeah.
I feel so as someone from Michigan who basically was
They
like
love it.
in Canada, like we had Canadian coins in our pocket when we were
Oh,
growing
yeah.
up.
I did too.
Yeah, you were up there.
Yep.
Anywhere along that border area.
Mhm.
Like, dude, we used to be able to go over to Canada and buy cigarettes for cheap and all this stuff. I mean,
Nice.
I used to do the same, but I'd go to Mexico.
Walk over and
Yeah.
I was only 15 miles from the border.
nice.
Oh my God, that close?
Yeah, I was super
Wow.
close.
Okay, that's way closer than we were. Yeah, that was when we were in college. Like,
Oh, okay.
you can go over. We'd go over the border, get a couple cartons of cigarettes and some other shit for way cheaper. And I suspect they got to be more expensive now, given Which, by the way, cigarettes now, amazing how expensive they are.
Good.
Yeah, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it's like, wow. Like every time, I haven't smoked cigarettes in 20-something years.
I tried one cigarette in college and I threw up
Really? Oh well, that happens.
everything I had eaten before.
I didn't do. I didn't smoke a cigarette, but I did do dip.
Oh,
yeah.
An experience, Gabe.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I played hockey and baseball, and those two sports are big dip sports. Everyone did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Do
shit made
that.
my stomach
I will
turn.
never do that. That was terrible.
It just gets. Oh yeah.
No.
Everyone made it look good, and I always
Yeah.
wanted to do it.
And I
But-
did a huge one, and like 5 minutes later, I started getting the spins, and I
Yeah.
could barely stand. I'm just like, what is happening?
I will agree with this statement. So Corvette sellers are difficult.
Oh yeah.
Corvette buyers are easy. Because Corvette sellers are all like, well, this one has the one of one option that makes it worth this much more, and blah blah. It's like, nah, dude, it's just another Corvette. Like, every single one of them wants to justify why theirs is unique, and it's like, no, dude, it's one of literally 180,000 of these, so it's this price. Like the data is really, really clear on the Corvettes. It's like that's what it's worth. So, anyway, I need a huge bowl. Be right back.
Man, sometimes I just want to be on Hugh's side, just
Right.
just watching.
Oh man, I wonder if he ever watched this when he wasn't high. He'd be like, "This is really boring.
What am I doing? Yeah.
Why am I wasting my time watching these idiots?" Yeah, exactly. Everyone wants 25,000 plus for a base C5. It's like, no. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things I could complain about the Roma, but the start button isn't one of them. I don't mind the haptic touch button.
Yeah, I don't care.
I've
about
never
that.
used it. It seems terrible, but I don't like to comment on car stuff that I haven't used or cars that I haven't driven.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I try not to be too hard on cars I haven't driven.
The Roma to me doesn't feel like a Ferrari. It feels like something else.
It feels like a Maserati.
Yeah, it's like too modern inside, and I don't know. It doesn't really look like a Ferrari. Doesn't have.
it's got a big center console, right?
Yeah, and it's got
You
like a big touch screen in the middle, and
Yeah, yeah.
haptic buttons.
I didn't
on
like the
steering wheel.
touch screen that much. It was kind of
I mean,
weird.
it's got heated and cooled seats. I mean, come on.
It was luxurious. It's a nice,
Yeah.
like, to be fair, it is a very nice car. I just would have a hard time with the prices. But they're coming down so fast that, I mean, give it another year or two and you probably could pick them up for like low hundreds. And then that starts to get a little bit more tempting where it's like, oh,
Yeah.
This sounds
Well-
interesting.
Oh no.
no, that sounds awesome. I saw it and I was like,
I like the boomers being fools subreddit
Mm.
on Reddit. That's a good one.
Yeah. Oh, I
Dang.
don't understand the automatic transmissions in Corvettes. It's like
3 weeks.
Doesn't the
Wow.
C7 Grand Sport has a DCT, doesn't it? Or is it still a
no,
slush
that was
box
still
in
that was
C7?
slush box.
Okay.
C8 that was finally this DCT.
Okay. Yeah, no thanks.
That's part of the problem. Also, when we look at Corvettes to buy, they're all automatics, and you're like, why? Like, it's so sad. You're like, come on,
I mean,
man.
if you're doing it for that reason, the Romas are pretty. They've depreciated an insane amount, so you can get one for a pretty good price. But I still think they do have a ways to go. But
it's a much more evolved car than the 430.
well, your wife can drive it daily drive of Roma, no problem.
Yeah.
It's like
They're-
driving just any other car.
With a whole lot of power.
Yeah, with a lot of
I mean,
power.
they're fast.
Yeah.
They are really fast.
Yeah.
One thing I didn't like about the Roma is how light the front gets when you're really hammering on it. The
Yeah,
front
they-
end gets kind of squirrely.
Yeah.
That was the problem with the F-Type too. Like over 140, 150, it was like, is this thing gonna take off?
Yeah.
Like, whew, I don't like this.
Yeah. The 430, yeah, it's about 140 where it starts to get kind of floaty.
Okay.
I felt like the 458 was like 160.
Okay. Yeah.
And then the 488 is like 175, 180, and it's like it's still
The 488 seems insanely
planted.
planted.
Yeah.
I think the
And, like-
430, like once you get over like 140, it's like, this is good enough.
Yeah. It just gets kind of light. Like the steering gets light, and you're like, I don't like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not confidence inspiring. Porsches though, like my old 996 Turbo, I mean that car, I had it up to like 175, and it was
Nice. I haven't felt that in the McLaren yet. Like it's like, oh, we're going 170. Doesn't feel like
No
it.
problem.
Yeah.
Well,
Let's go.
it's got like crazy active aero and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, makes sense. What's the car you guys wish you never sold or could get back if possible? I mean, the problem is like when you buy cars for the dealership, you don't get emotionally attached to them.
Yeah.
I think he's talking like personal cars.
Oh well, personally, yeah, there's quite a few cars that I kind of would love to see again.
I'd take my first truck back. That's why I was watching the Mecum auctions last weekend, and there was a rebuilt one that
Yeah, you
went for
told me about
74,000 or
God.
77,000. So it was like
Holy-
86 after fees.
Wow.
I was like, I think I sold that truck for $4,000. Like, I'm sure they put 30, 40 grand into rebuilding that thing, but it was
Yeah.
nice. But dang.
Yeah,
I
there's
don't
no
know.
cars that I'm like, oh, I totally miss this car.
I got my first car back. That was one of them.
Yeah.
Still sitting there rotting in our field.
Benz.
I mean, I think of the Ferraris I've owned, the 458 was my favorite. Although, I think I am gonna miss the Scud because that car is phenomenal. But I still have it, so I can't say that yet. Don't know. I do miss sometimes. I miss my 71 Chevelle. That car
Oh, I
was
could see
pretty
that.
cool.
Yep.
Because that was a pretty badass car.
This is random, but one car I had for a while that I drove was an Aston Martin Vantage V8 with a manual.
Really?
Yeah, and it was inexpensive, but it was really like build quality was really pretty good, and it drove well and it looked good.
Nice.
I don't know.
Those are good looking cars. I like them.
Yeah, it wasn't that fast or anything, but it's still fun.
I would take back my WRX. I mean, I haven't had that many cars. I've had a Honda. I think it was an Accord, a few Jettas, WRX, and
Those are
then
good cars. Those Subarus are good cars.
yeah, solid daily driver, all-wheel drive.
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed my I
Good
had two
STI.
STIs and those were fun. I should point out Subaru STI is not sexually transmitted infection.
I had a pretty wicked STI too for a while. Stupid.
Tell us more, Josh.
That did
No,
not
it was a
roll very good.
700 horsepower STI.
Uh,
It was a burner.
That was a great question.
It shot flames.
Nice.
I bet. I bet.
Yeah.
Every time you went to the bathroom.
Every time.
Every time you start it. Every time you start it. Sometimes it didn't run right.
It leaked a little bit.
Just keep going.
It didn't leak coolant.
Oh shit.
Too awesome. Oh lordy. We're such children. Oh, thank you. I was really curious if that video was going to get received well or not. I had not done a video like that in a while. So maybe we should do that with your card, Josh.
Yeah, we could do that tomorrow.
Just a straight like F1 sound with the 430 as a manual. So you get some cool, manual sounds too.
Do it super early or at dusk so you can see the flames.
Ooh, yeah. That sounds really good.
Yeah.
Although you're gonna really make some people mad if you drive that thing. Yeah. But I did that was different. So I'd never done this before, and it actually worked out really well. Is I had a mic in the car and out of the car, and I synchronized them so you could hear the interior noise and the exterior noise combined.
Okay.
Yeah, that was great.
That'll be cool with the gated shift
Right.
sound.
So I was thinking about that. If we did your car, you'd still get the clicks and stuff as it's shifting.
Yeah.
That'd be neat.
And we could probably, if you guys like that, then we could probably put like 3 cameras. So then you could have like a view of just the shifter, a view of the driving viewpoint, and then a view of like behind the car or something like that. Actually mount like 3-4 GoPros on it.
Yeah. Was that like a chest cam or did you have a clip on your head?
No, I mounted it on the front windshield and had it sticking directly. Which, if you watch when I'm driving, I have to do some weird hand shuffling because I couldn't do like a full turn. So I'm like sitting there like trying to turn the steering wheel around corners.
Nice.
I was like, whatever. Like, hopefully no cops come and they'll be like,
yeah,
what are
we
you
thought
doing?
about maybe doing a Scud versus gated 430 like comparison video or something, or driving side by side.
Oh, you like the business vlog? That video actually was the highest viewed video I've had in months. So I guess maybe people want to see us talking about business stuff.
All right.
So we should try that. Maybe we should do more of that. Because it got way more views than DIY content.
Did it? And more than the Scud driving video?
Oh, the Scud driving video got barely any views. Like,
some people, I guess it's just their cinematography. They do driving videos that just do incredible.
yeah, I'm not that artistic.
No,
The problem is like
I'm not either.
to be able to have a excellent driving video, you have to have like so many different camera viewpoints, and you have to drive the car so aggressively, which on the street is like you're gonna get arrested.
Yeah.
Like I try to drive it hard, but in a way that like if a cop sees me, I'm not gonna immediately go to jail. I'll just get a ticket.
Well, and those are probably taking those people a full day of production. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah. Like
Oh my
lots of shots, lots of whatever. This was literally I slapped 2 cameras on the car, and I drove it for a half hour.
No, it's still really good. But you're right. Like I've already accepted. I'm not willing to do what it takes to make like a really good driving video. I'm just not.
It's hard
on the road. Like
the funny thing is, like
there's cops everywhere.
When you drive the car in the moment, you're like, "This is cool and exciting," and then you watch the video and you're like, "This is boring." Like it's really hard to actually have an exciting driving video.
So the thing with that style driving video that you just did is like there's an art film from the 60s of this dude who strapped a film camera. So he had 19 minutes of film and he just drove around Paris. And it was like the first style video of that. I forget the name of it, but like always seeing that kind of thing reminds me of that. It's like that's still like neat. It's like a good like historical throwback.
But you know what it reminds me of is way back in early interwebs days, there was that Getaway in Stockholm video.
Yeah.
With the Porsche 930 Turbo.
Yep.
And they had like 2 cameras on it, right? So you had 2 viewpoints. and that style of video still is like ingrained in my brain of like, I love this. But I mean, God, those guys are driving that thing balls to the wall. It's like, you can't, like, where can you do that short of trying to run from the cops, you know?
Yep.
So it reminds me of that. But anyway, good. Lots of feedback on the business video and the Scud video. Okay, well, there you go, Josh. We have a plan for tomorrow. You are going to drive your car, and we're going to slap
Well,
some
you know,
camera
I
on it.
just realized is I
Huh.
took the instrument cluster out, so we can't.
Son of a bitch. That's right.
I took it out because it's getting reprogrammed.
Damn it.
Why?
Because when the car sat for a long time, while we were figuring out the conversion stuff and all that, something happened where the memory in the cluster, like it erased the memory, so it lost all of its configuration settings, and I get a big orange X on the screen. So I've got somebody that's reprogramming it for me to get rid of that, because it's really annoying. While you're driving, you have this big orange X flashing on the screen.
I want to point out something. I was not driving that car. You have no proof of that. Thus, the speedometer was not blurred.
And you don't know where he was driving. He may have been in Mexico for all you know.
Yeah, can you? Oh, thanks, guys. Some people enjoy my driving videos. That's good. Good to hear. That was one. I was not pushing it by any means, really. Trying to get the revs up, but the speed wasn't crazy. But I was also like, "Shit, are you supposed to blur out the speedo? Like what's the deal
I
there?"
think the kind of like unwritten rule is if you can identify the driver, blur the speedo.
Identify the driver, like. So.
If you notice,
they
in
could
that
identify
video,
you and me,
who
right?
was driving the Scud in the Scud video?
Oh, like you have to be able to prove in that video, not who posted it, but
Yeah.
And take forensics to the back of your hand.
whose hands are those, right?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you can't
I
see
tried-
the back of my hands, fuckers.
Yeah, on one of my drives, I just put my GoPro on my hat, the bill of my hat.
Yeah.
And it was okay, but the angle wasn't right, and it was too high of a field of view,
That's the problem with like
and
POV.
it was sitting too low on my face. So I don't know, like my hat was falling down. But that was just a spur of the moment thing. I didn't try to refine it. I would like to.
I think if we did Josh's car with at least 3 cameras, where you have one on the gate, one of the POV of the driver, and the one behind the car, so you get the exhaust. With 2 mics, one interior mic, one exterior mic, all synchronized. That would be a pretty cool video.
I think when I get it cluster back, we can do that.
Yeah. I almost feel like maybe you could have 2 videos, like one on the front of the car on the outside, or like one that's like. So I've done the like behind the front wheel camera, and the problem with that is you have to accept that you're probably going to damage the camera. Because if you start going around corners and shit, it kicks up some rocks. I've smashed a couple lenses and stuff doing that over the years.
You could put your case on the GoPro, right?
Yeah, I mean it's not the end of the world, you know. But it's just accept that your GoPro is going to get screwed. You know, if you put it behind the wheels, stuff's going to happen.
It's a cool shot though.
It is a cool shot, especially like if you really start getting on the brakes and stuff, and you see some of the sparks and shit coming off the brakes, and you're like, "Whoa, that shit's happening!" It's like, yeah, it's cool. I suppose we could take out another 430 manual, but it just sounds not quite as awesome.
Yeah.
Although the 07 with the tune and the pops and bangs, people might like that. Full face helmet, yeah. I mean, we could try like the POV where you like have the camera mounted at eye level. 360 cameras, yeah. Mouth mount.
Oh God.
Can you imagine biting down on a camera for 30 minutes? Your mouth numb.
There's one of those New York cooking YouTubers he made a mouth guard with a GoPro mount on it. Yeah.
Are you kidding?
That's how they hold it? They just
Yeah.
bite down on a mouth guard?
Because he's like, I need both my hands, and it needs to be
Oh,
a point
wow.
of view.
Oh wow! So you just
Wear a hat. Can you just wear a
Yeah.
hat with a
but
camera?
that's way up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's totally different. The problem is especially on like a 430 or something, the camera's gonna be way up in the ceiling,
Yeah, that's true.
and you're not gonna see shit. It has to really be like at eye height or right
Yeah.
around this range.
I have a chest GoPro mount, but that's too low.
Too low. Yep.
I guess I do have a helmet, a motorcycle helmet. I bought it for karting with a chin mount.
Mm.
That would probably be good, but then I'd be wearing a motorcycle helmet while driving. So
People are going, what is happening? What's he doing? He's
Dude,
going to the race.
it's one of those where you pull up that stoplight, you just look over at him, you like rev the engine a few times.
Oh shit.
Oh man.
I actually might do that.
By the way, there is no way this video is going to be monetized because there's been so many curses and whatever. So appreciate if you guys could support us and share the video and stuff because it's going to do terrible.
Buy some merch. Yeah.
Yeah, buy some stuff.
We all do terrible. All the
Yeah.
live ones didn't really get much.
Oh, the lives always do terrible. We do the lives because we like you guys. That's
Yeah.
why we do the lives.
We get to bullshit for an hour and a half, and
Yeah,
it's a good viewership today. It was like 144 at one point.
it's not hit 150 something.
Dang. All right.
Which
Dude,
wow.
mouth mounts? I've never heard of these, but you can't talk. So how's that chef
I
talking?
think it's a joke, Gabe.
It's all
No,
it's all
dude, they're real.
voiceover.
Is it real?
Yeah,
Dude, look up mouth mounts.
yeah, I could see that
They're
because
like mouth guards.
camera's no longer in your field of view, so you can actually still do stuff.
I mean,
Yeah.
it is a joke still, but they're real.
Wow,
It's
okay.
not another cooking shows who does it that I've seen, and he just does voiceover for everything. So
The Insta 360. Wait, is that the one? I think that's a potentially.
Those look like a weird little. It looks like a little thin stick thing.
yeah,
Well, they can go on the stick, but I've seen
Yeah.
some racers put them. They're small and they put them on their helmet, on their visor, like they
Oh.
attach them.
Ha!
nice.
Nice.
What?
His wife liked the barbecue sauce.
I'm glad you made it.
That's awesome.
Hopefully, you found the real sugar Dr Pepper because that's the key.
That's the trick.
Is that
Yeah.
your sauce, Tyler?
Yes. Oh, you weren't here last week.
No.
He paid $20 for the recipe, so I had to give it to him.
Nice.
It was so good, he paid again.
Maybe we should next week. We should have somebody on the live. Who wants to be on the live next week?
Oh Lord,
Yeah,
that's such a
Q.
high risk.
It's high risk, but if they start acting up, we'll just kick them off. Easy.
And then they're gonna hate us forever.
You know what?
Trust
They
me,
did.
this has happened before. The last thing you want to do is turn a fan into an enemy because they
Yeah.
are really strong enemies.
I might
I
sue
think
you.
you probably pissed off the Scud guy earlier.
Ah, fuck him. He was giving me a 125 offer. I'm sticking to my guns on that one. I feel no remorse. He offered me 125 publicly.
Well, it would have to be a fan that we know of that's been around for a while, I guess.
Yeah.
True. That's true. And then you could set a time limit too. You could say, 15 minutes or 10 minutes. So whether they're good or bad or whatever, they're gone in 10 minutes.
You could come
Hedge
on
your
for
bet.
15 minutes.
That's your bet. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
There's I think if they're unlisted videos, like if it's one of those where it's like it's live and if you miss it live, you can't watch it again, then there's no risk. But
Swear, John.
yeah, prepay.
Thank you. Actually, you just basically offset the fact that I wasn't going to get this video monetized, so I probably just made the exact same amount of money I would have ever made. So thank you, Alex.
I love it.
That's too funny. You need a drone? I have a drone. The problem is, I used to do all the B-roll and all the drone stuff and all this extra crap and whatever, and it's like so much extra effort, and I don't know how much it really brings to the video.
Right.
It's hard. It's hard to justify it because it increases the editing time, it increases the production time by orders of magnitude more. So
What's up, bro?
I don't know.
Going to bed?
I can be at Chase plane, but you have to maintain at least 150.
Come on, man.
I mean, we can do that temporarily.
Yeah. I mean, the shots going past are cool too. So
That's the other thing. So if you get, B-roll of cars going by. Actually, the thing I've found to be one of the most difficult things to do that everyone loves is the car flyby with the sound and whatever. It's where do you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Where can you set up a camera? Especially because a lot of times it's just me. So where can I go? set up a tripod with a camera or 2 cameras in some cases, be on the side of the road for 10 minutes setting up the cameras, then have enough space to go drive past the cameras. Well, first you set up the cameras, right? So then you have to go drive away, turn around, come drive past the cameras, turn around, come back, go pick up the cameras. I mean,
Yep.
it's
Well-
to get a 10-second shot takes like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I will say I think I got one of the best drive-by clips from your channel. It was Casey's. Remember that one?
Oh yeah. That was awesome.
On
But see,
360, I think.
You saw how hard that was. Like you had
Well,
to go
I mean,
out.
yeah, I was just stranded on the side of the road, like,
Yeah.
like, for like a half an hour. Just
Yeah, we're like, go there and we'll drive by eventually.
yeah.
Exactly. No, that clip's definitely been one of the winners
I
of
mean, it
this
was because
channel.
of his car, not because of me.
Yeah,
but-
because it came by awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for the swear jar. That's a great idea. Actually, we should have a swear jar on the YouTube channel. I'm almost to the point where I don't care about the monetization anymore because it's so little money, and it's like it keeps getting smaller. So it's like whatever. But the problem is that if you get demonetized, they don't promote the videos,
Mm.
so your videos like do even worse. So yeah. The problem with getting this is where could you go do that? As much as I would love to, believe me, I would love to go find a private airport landing strip and go do a bunch of flybys, but it's like, where? How?
Well, once Fred's buddy with the Lakeway people, we can go out there.
Right? Union assistant? I mean, sure, with what money? If someone wants to be a free assistant. Actually, that's what I need. I need you to recreate yourself, Gabe, because you were helping out with a lot of those videos back in
Yeah.
the day. And for sure, the video production was better back then when I had you helping.
I was getting paid in V8 and
Drives?
V12 fumes.
Yeah,
There you go.
And
I love
drive,
this.
free rides and drives, right?
Heck yeah. I
We
know. I'm
haven't-
surprised no one else like me. has reached
Yeah, we
out.
haven't had anyone like reach out. Everyone always wants to like, you know what we get asked a lot of is like, hey, can I come like detail your car and or can I come take pictures of your cars? And we're like, no. Like,
Yeah. I have
I'll
those
in-
things.
huh?
I have detail stuff and cameras. I don't
Right.
need that.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
like the funny thing is like a lot of times they're like, oh, I'll come take pictures of your car for cheap, and I'm like,
Or I can do it for free.
yeah, it's like, why do I want you to come and I pay you for pictures? Like, paid in meat? Will intern for Ferrari fumes? I mean, I'm totally fine with finding an intern that's unpaid and gets Ferrari rides.
So you need a waiver on that one. Like if you asphyxiate and die, that's not on me, bro.
Yeah, sign this here that says
For
that
high
you will.
quality fumes.
Yeah.
Fly to China.
Yeah,
What
why
are we going
China?
to drive in China?
Oh my God.
Well, that's the fun of it.
We'll get stuck in traffic.
Yeah.
It'd be sweet.
Well, all your footage would get stolen by the time you left the country anyway.
They would
So
never let me.
Be detained.
okay.
Yeah, I get detained because I accidentally filmed something I'm not supposed to or something.
Yep.
That's more of like North Korea. Dude, a guy I know very well went to North Korea for tourism.
I have a friend that did that too.
Oh
And,
man.
like, crazy. Like talking about it's just absolutely crazy. What is the Liberty Hill Air Ranch? I've never even heard of this. Is that an airport?
Does it have a paved runway?
I don't know.
You get back to drive tanks.
There you
Drive
go.
tanks. Ranch with paved runway for sale.
Hmm.
That's cool. 138 acres?
Woo.
What are they
How much?
asking? 11,000 an acre.
11,000 an acre. That's gonna be pretty expensive.
Dang.
That's actually
Screw-
pretty cheap.
Yeah,
though.
screw cars. Let's buy landing strip.
Holy crap! A 3,160 foot by 40 foot paved lighted runway.
Whoa.
How much is it?
There you go.
Over $1 million.
Math. It's 1.5 million.
Yeah.
It's actually not as bad as I would have
How many
thought.
people do we have to get together to?
Yeah,
Yeah.
round up the crew.
I mean, that's just 5 or 6. That's not that bad.
Wow. Look at
Someone
these
will be
pictures.
willing to buy it, and then they could just
136
charge.
acres is. I mean, you could do a lot more than just a drag strip. with something
Dude.
like that.
yeah.
We should do this.
Drive
I'm in.
tanks need some competition.
Hell yeah.
A
Where is
lake.
it?
It's in Liberty Hill, apparently.
Shit. It's gonna be like Beltram area, right? Or Bertram, whatever that town is to the west.
Probably got to be towards Bertram. Yeah. It doesn't have an address.
Steve can fly in.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's actually like got like FAA shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Keep it in the
Gun
back.
range. Heck yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah, gun
Anyway.
range. That'd be perfect.
Float
Gun
the
range,
idea around.
drag strip, barbecue. We'll have barbecues.
Hey, I want to do a drag strip so bad. If I had all the money, I would build a drag strip on a private property. That'd be awesome. That'd be like my morning coffee. Like wake up, still in your underwear, hop in a car, and just be like burn out, and then drag.
Oh,
That'd be
love it.
awesome,
Hell yeah. Let's buy this. Screw cars.
right? Just live there, drag race all day long.
Drag race and shoot guns all day long.
Oh
Hell yeah.
man, that is the life. Yeah, so you wake up, still in your underwear, pew 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 pew, jump in your car, burn out, drag race.
Yeah. Well, see, you put the smoker at the other end of the drag strip, so you have to
Yeah. You need to
come
get
back
there
and
fast.
You
forth.
set,
Yeah.
set up targets along the drag strip. Shoot out the window while you're driving.
Yes. Now we're talking.
Out the
Yeah.
window.
Charge people access. I like it.
Oh my god. All right. Well, it's way past our bedtime, so thank you all for watching, and we do appreciate your support for the swear jar. That was very generous of you
Yes.
and entertaining.
Fucking A.
Yeah, fucking A. We're not going to make any money today. At least not that way. Too bad for the guy who I banned. Don't be a dick and do low balls. And thank you for the feedback. Genuinely, we'll try and do some more like pure sound videos. I guess you guys like that, and I guess maybe next week we could do another like business video because I guess you guys like that too. So those are videos that are totally doable. So thank y'all, and
Night, everybody.
yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Peace.